everyone and welcome back to another video. Today this video is slightly different. I'm going to be showing you how I create my cash envelopes. I made these all myself. They're not perfect, they're not brilliant, but yeah, I made them by hand. It took me a little while to kind of work out how to create them, but I really like them now and I like that they're fully customizable. So I also have picked up another book because I want to do a YouTube book as well as have my normal one I do. They're both the same. I'll probably stick something in the right hand corner or something to kind of be able to tell the difference between them. But yeah, you're going to be seeing in this video how I create my new envelopes for my new book. So let's get started with what you will need. You will need some scissors, a hole puncher, some laminating pouches, a laminator, and a laptop. Now, a laptop, yes and no, you might not need it, depends if you want to do them by hand. I did think of this randomly before recording this video. You could totally draw your own and make your own without using a printer at all. I won't be showing you how to do that, but I will just kind of make that obvious. You could literally draw them instead of, you know, having them like this. This video was so highly requested, so yeah, I really hope that this is beneficial. Before we do anything, I'm going to switch on my laminator, and I've put something underneath the laminator just in case it damages the table. I get a bit stressful that it could, you know, get a little bit hot and potentially damage the table. So you'll see here that when this is ready, this light will just go, I think it goes green, so it goes red the moment you turn it on. And then when it's green, it's ready to go. So remember, it does take a little bit to heat up. So whilst we're waiting for that to heat up, I will literally take you over to my laptop and show you how I create my envelopes. The first one will be creating the normal envelopes, and the next one will be literally creating brand new from fresh. Yeah, this is how I create my cash envelopes. I use a platform called Canva. I do have the paid version, but you don't really need it for this. What I do is I literally duplicate each one I create. You can add different fonts, you can add different graphics, you can basically add whatever you want to this, which is why I really like it. It's super flexible. It didn't take me long to make this design because I'm quite particular, I like things pink. So this is just the sizing I use as well, 17 by 18 centimeters. This just works for me and the British money. That's just how I do it here. So what I'm going to do is literally duplicate the page, and then I'm going to change room decor to be Christmas because I'm creating a Christmas envelope, although this is the future. I'm recording this voiceover and actually I end up not using a Christmas envelope in the end. It doesn't matter. That can all be explained in the video. And then I literally download it and I make sure that I only download that one page. If you want to see step by step how I create this, then I will show you in a second. But if you want to see me just kind of actually cutting out and stuff, then just zoom forward. The timestamps will be in the description, so it depends what you want to do. I then go into Word and I put it into a Word document. And this is important because it means if it's the right size or not. So I import it from a file, I get my cash envelope in the making, and then I make it 18.3 centimeters in height. Now this is so weird, it's 18.30 centimeters, and I do this because I found that when it was just 18 centimeters, it didn't quite have enough space to cover up the notes. So I just played around with it a couple of times and discovered that 18.30 centimeters just worked perfectly for my cash envelopes. So that is exactly what I do. And then I literally go to print and I print out the cash envelope, and then yeah, I basically move on to the next step, which is coming up now. So in this clip you will just see a really super fast version of me putting together my new envelopes. I just basically duplicated the ones I had. I literally duplicated the pages. However, just don't forget that the sizing I use is 17 by 18 centimeters. So you should never have the problem not knowing what size I use and stuff like that. But yeah, this is how my creative mind works. I've just thought I'd record it for a bit of fun and so you can see kind of what I search for and what I do. And yeah, we'll get straight into how I actually cut out the envelopes, laminate them, etc. after this. Or you can go to the timestamp and zoom ahead. Okay, so now they are all printed out like so. We are going to use the scissors to cut them out. Now, I'm not going to lie, this doesn't have to be perfect. I most certainly don't spend ages making sure they're perfect, and you will see that. But I'm going to get started by doing the new ones that I'm creating because long story short, but when you put them through the laminator, you want multiple at a time. So yeah, it all makes sense in a second. So I'm just going to go and cut these out. I will speed this up because otherwise it would feel like we're here forever. Don't get me wrong, a guillotine would be a better thing to use for this, but I just didn't in this video. Okay, so there we are. Now they're all cut out. I'm just trying to get rid of this rubbish in front of me. Chuck that over there. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, they're all cut out and ready to go. Now they might look quite small, but in comparison to my folders, they're actually quite normal size. They're not going this way anyway. They will be going this way. So yeah, we're going to put them through the laminator now. I'm just going to double check that it's definitely ready. Yep, it definitely is. So I'm just going to clear my table to make this really easy to show you and easy to understand, and then we will put them through the laminator. Now what I was saying about doing these ones first is because you really want to use up as much laminating card per card as possible. I have no idea if that even makes sense, but basically you want to put 2 of your cash envelopes into one A4 sheet, or else you're just wasting money, aren't you? Really, you're just, you know, using 1 per sheet. It's a bit of a waste of money. So try and find the opening for your laminating sheet. Now this is always a bit of a hefty task, but we get there eventually. And then you're just going to open it up, and yeah, just open it up basically, and then you're going to get your cash envelope, which isn't an envelope yet, and you're going to put it in front of here. Now the important thing I was saying then is that you want to put the connected side in first. So what the important part here is, and this is the game changer, you want to fold your cash envelope in half. Now you want to do this so that the plain bit, the white bit, is in the middle like that. The reason you do that is because when this goes into your folder, and I will show you here, it will sit like this, and the opening will allow you to put the money in. I really hope this is making sense. I'm really saying this in a really basic way. So we're going to put this down onto our laminating sheet now. And again, I want you to pay attention to this as well. Now you will find the part that is together, not the open part, and you will put your cash envelope in there, but you will leave a gap. And the reason you're leaving a gap at the bottom there, as you can see, is because this is where we will hole punch. So you will need literally a bit of laminate, which will be just laminate for your hole punch. So now I'm just folding my next cash envelope. I did it off camera because I just, you know, I find it really just like to have the camera in front of me sometimes. And then I leave a big gap underneath the new one, if that makes sense. So I'm putting the marketing one right at the top. And the reason I'm putting it right at the top is because it's an opening anyway. So when this goes through the laminating process, it won't laminate it shut. So there we are. We've got 2 big gaps. Those big gaps are important because that's where you laminate. And this will go through with the connected side going in first. So you'll see there's a bit of a gap there. So I'm just gonna pull the laminator over and show you what I mean by putting the connected side in first. Now the laminating sheets have a bit of texture to them, so they shouldn't fall out, but I would recommend just keeping an eye on them as they go through, maybe keeping your hand at the bottom. And then again, the next process is cutting them out, and that is just as important as the laminating process, because this determines where your cash envelopes are open and where the money can go in and how the money goes in. Now you can change this to be as different as you like. You can put the money in sideways, you can put the money in through the top. It's really your choice. I just choose to do it at the top, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'll just speed this process up here so it's really easy to watch basically. Awesome, so there we are, that is the process for getting them laminated. Now if you've ever used a laminator, you'll know that this can be quite hot, so I like to put it to the side and let it cool down before doing anything. And then I would just move forward with the next 2 cash envelopes that I'll be creating. So I literally just repeat the process. Now this might seem like quite a complicated process, maybe, I don't know how other people do it. This was something that literally took me and my dad quite a lot of brain power to work out how people do this. It really took a lot of brain power for us, and then it took a lot of toing and throwing to get the measurements correct. What I'd recommend is just cutting out a piece of card or a piece of paper that is the size of the currency in your country, and then just testing it and making sure it fits. But if you're doing this and not using some sizing, then be prepared that you could create a handful of them that could be wrong. So yeah, I'm doing the same thing, putting decoration in. There's nothing on the back, although you could put something on the back if you wanted to, but this is what it looks like, and this is how I folded it, just so it really sinks in and you understand. And then I am going to put this in the laminating pouch again, just like I did the other one. Leaving a gap at the bottom for the hole punching. You want to leave a similar amount on each of your different laminating sheets, because otherwise you'll have some that have a really big gap and some that have a really small gap. But yeah, just try and keep it similar across the board so that you don't get left with some that are really far in to the binder and really far out to the binder. So I'm now just going to speed up this next bit again, because we don't want to waste too much time here. So now moving forward to cutting out the first ones. What you might notice here is that my laminate sheet kind of went in a bit skew-if and kind of started to screw up. The only advice I can give you is just keep going with it and let it go through and see how it looks on the other side. So I'm just going to cut now. You can kind of see it kind of crumbling up there. I thought, do I play around with it? I'll just leave it and see, because they're quite stubborn laminators. They really don't budge. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out at the end, but what I can recommend is just let it do its thing. If it gets jammed, the best way is just to pull it out the other end. I know it's not great advice, but that is literally how you fix these things. So yeah, we will see how it looks, and then we'll determine if we're going to have to print it all over again. But again, this is the trial and error that comes with these things, and here we are. Look, perfectly fine. You wouldn't even know because these side bits have been cut out anyway. So now moving on to the cutting out process. I'll just turn this off and move this away. Remember, it needs time to cool down before you put it back in the box. What you're going to want to do is cut out at the top of your cash envelope. It doesn't matter if you cut off a bit of paper, because either way it just needs to be open. So here we are. You'll see what I'm doing here. I'm just cutting it on the top, which then allows you to open your cash envelope. So you can kind of see it coming together now. Just push through, just double check it's all open and all fine. And then the next part you're going to do is just cut down the sides here, but you're not going to cut on the sides, or else if you cut on the sides, the cash envelope will open on that side too. So you want to leave a little bit of laminate there, so it's just working as a seal. Just like that. I'm not sure if you could quite see that. I'm sure you can see it now on the other side, and that is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to change anything about the bottom of this cash envelope either. The next thing I do now is, because I find the corners quite sharp, is I just kind of round them off or make them a bit thinner if I find they're a bit big and clunky on the sides. So yeah, I just round them off so then I don't end up hurting myself or anyone hurts themselves when looking at my cash envelopes. Hopefully no one does though, because it's full of money. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Now I'm just going to put this one to the side now and just kind of show you how we do the next ones. But this is literally all I do, guys. That is literally it. And yeah, the next step further in this video will be making sure that they're all the same size, the laminate at the bottom, so that they all sit in line with each other. So again, I'm just going to zoom forward all this stuff to make it a bit more interesting for you to watch and not spend so much time doing it for you. So now we are coming to the end of this video, and all I'm going to do now is just line up all of my new cash envelopes, move aside all of the old laminate pieces, and just see how different they are in the laminate sizing at the bottom. I want them to all line up like this in the book, so what I'm going to do is find the one that has the smallest piece of laminate at the bottom, which is this one, and then I'm just gonna put them in order and cut them all down to the smallest size. That makes sense, as that way we know that they're all the same size in the book. So there we are, just getting the right one. They're cut a bit wonky, etc., so that's fine. I can straighten that all out, and then I literally just go in with the scissors and cut them all in one go, because I know that way they're all going to be a similar size. And then I will move forward and hole punch individually each of these cash envelopes ready to go in my cash envelope book. So there we are, I've just laid out my book, I've put my water bottle on top to keep it open, stay hydrated kids, and then I'm just hole punching each of these cash envelope slips. So I'll get my hole puncher here. Now, something I want to say is I really struggled to find a hole puncher that fit the correct measurements for my book. I'm really sorry, my laptop's sounding like it's going to take off. So find one that fits the size of your cash envelope booklet, which is quite hard to do, but I found one on Amazon. My mum did in the end, so I'm really grateful for that. It had 3x3. Most hole punchers only have 2 holes, and then they don't fit the 2 holes that you have in the 3x3 holes, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just going to go in and hole punch. I did try to do them all in one go, and I was like, no, not going to work. So I went in one at a time and just hole punched them there, which is normally what I do one at a time anyway when I'm creating one at a time. So yeah, I just make sure they all line up to a similar height, top and bottom, and then just hole punch it in and put it straight in. So I will just show you this first one, hole punched like that, and then put into my cash envelope book there. Perfect. I absolutely love it. I just think this is such an easy way of doing it. It saves me money buying them online, but in all honesty, to be honest, I'm happy to sell these as like an A4 document for you to digitally download if you're just not creative, or if you want some that are all the correct sizing and all you have to do is print them out and laminate them. But let me know if you would want that or not. I've just done a step-by-step for it, so you might not feel the need to do that, but that's something that I would definitely have considered, not paying much at all, but just for the help really, so you don't have to worry about being creative, because I found these ones quite hard to design. But anyway, I really hope this helped, and I will just kind of keep talking to the end of this video as I'm doing the voiceover after the video, and yeah, I will not change this process unless I find another way of doing it that's a lot easier. A top tip from me would be to wait and then bulk do them. Don't do one at a time randomly, as getting all the stuff out is a bit of a faff. But yeah, this is literally how they look, and I really like them. And in the next video you will see me using these envelopes, and yeah, you can see here that the £20 does fit in. Again, just experiment with it, make sure it checks, but you can see that there is a lot of space on all sides for this cash envelope. So there we are. Thank you so much for watching, guys, as always. If you would like to see any more of these types of videos, I'm not sure what else I could possibly do, but if you would want me to maybe put them on Etsy for you to buy to make your life a little bit easier, or however you want me to do it, if you want me to do that, then yeah, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I have really enjoyed recording a different type of video for you guys. Hopefully it's not too different and you still enjoyed it. So I will see you very soon. Bye!